The stock market is about to crash. In this video, I'll cover everything that you need to know before it crashes, so make sure to stick around to find out. Before we get into this video, I do have to disclose that I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This video is purely for entertainment purposes only, and any risk you take on financially is fully your liability and only your liability. Now, let's get into the video. The first reason that I think the stock market might crash very soon is that there's so much that is going on right now that could go wrong and just could send the market into a downward spiral, such as the vaccine rollout, the stimulus package, and even just the transition of power. While the transition of power in the government has seemed smooth so far, it could change very quickly. Now let's get into my first idea here, which is the vaccine rollout. It's apparently is going to be slower than expected, and if it is slower than expected, this would be a huge impact on the market. I would assume that most people would start selling, and we'd have at least a week of red days where who knows how bad they're going to be, and it could send us into a crash. While I don't think this alone will send us into a crash, at least not as bad as we saw in March of 2020. I don't think any crash we get right now will be anywhere near that large. But also, looking at the graph of the S&P 500, it's been on a steady uptrend, and eventually you've got to think that this might turn into a bubble, and that bubble might very well pop. And that would not be good. But if there is a bubble and it does pop, I'm definitely going to be buying into the stock market as it continues to drop and dollar cost averaging down so that I can make even more money when the market does come back up, which I have very strong faith that it will. Now, my second idea here is the stimulus talks. They've been talking about an extra stimulus for a while and the third stimulus, but nobody knows really when or if it's going to come. And if it doesn't come, or if there's news that it's been pushed back even further, people are going to get scared and start selling their stocks, which is not a good thing for the market. But if a stimulus package does get passed, the market could be shot up very quickly, which is also, that could be a very good thing. But the thing is, it could very well crash and go very, very low if that stimulus package does not get passed, or if it gets delayed, or if it gets lowered, if they are expecting less money then, because that's not good. Now, my third idea on why the stock market might crash is that you haven't hit that like button yet. You got to go down below and hit that like button to show me that you like me doing these videos. And if you don't like me doing those videos, comment down below and tell me what you do want to see, and I'll do my best to do it. And if there's anything you see that needs changing, let me know. Thank you. Now, on to the third actual topic of why I think the market might drop soon. The transition of power. While it's been smooth so far, we don't know how well the transition will go down the road and how quickly we can get things moving in the government right now. And I have full confidence that we will get moving very quickly, and hopefully the vaccines will be rolling out as expected, but it doesn't look like that's going to be happening. And if there's anything else that goes wrong, like they can't start keeping up with what they need, what the American public is thinking that they should be doing, then the market will most likely drop. Because I do think that we are approaching a bubble type stage where we are getting a lot too high and there's just not enough support below it to keep that up without more and more good news coming into the market. I did see that unemployment, the filings were slightly down, but if these go up, that could also be a huge downside for the market in 2021. But I do think if we do see a crash in 2021, we will see a full recovery by 2022. And I can't leave you with just a bad side. So let's look at the good side of the equation. If these vaccines start getting pumped out as expected, I think that the market has at least another 10 to 20% in the near future, which you may call me crazy for that, but I actually think that that is very, very possible. And then Another one is if the transition of power is smooth and they get started working on stuff right away and they start getting deals passed and all of that, I think that the market has a very good chance of going up and having a strong upside. What I do worry about though is the jobless claims, because if we keep getting a rise in those, then it doesn't really matter what else gets passed. But if the stimulus gets passed on top of it, I think we are going to have at least 20 to 30% if we have all three of those things go good. Now, obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, and you got to remember that this isn't financial advice, but I really do believe that these things are very possible and could happen in 2021. Now I'm going to do some projections for 2022 and beyond. I hope that this pandemic is over by 2022 and beyond, but if it isn't, I would assume that we're going to have some good vaccines getting pumped out over and over again, and I would assume that 2022 may be a little bit more volatile than normal years, but I think that by 2023 we'll stabilize back to where we were just a couple of years ago. Well, a couple of months ago actually. But I think we can get back to that point much faster if everything goes to plan and the plan to roll out all these vaccines goes through smoothly and we get more stimulus. I think that we can have the market going up and staying up for good in no time. Always remember to do your own research though, because if you don't do your research, you might end up losing a lot of money because of it. And don't just take it from me, because if you get more opinions, then that's even better, because you can think and decide which opinions you agree with. But if we do see this market going down, you know where I'm heading. I'm heading to Puttville. Cue Wall Street Bets. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to throw my whole life savings into Wall Street Bets to bet against the market. I believe the market will go up in the long run. Actually, what I'd be doing would be buying more on the dip, as they call it. But maybe I'd play around with a put or two. Just if I see my thinking line up with what the market is doing and what the news is doing. So yeah, I might explore that option. No pun intended there. But I do not recommend you trade options at all. And if you don't know what I'm talking about there, I advise that you don't learn what I was talking about there, because they are very risky investments and you can make a lot of money very quickly or lose a lot of money very quickly. And I've been on the losing end more than the winning end. So take it from me. If you don't believe me, then go ahead and lose money yourself. Hopefully you'd make money, but you'd probably lose money. So go ahead, lose money yourself if you don't want to believe me. But if you do want to believe me, 1, I thank you for believing me. 2, I hope you like the video, because it truly does help out in the algorithm and it helps to push this video out to more people so that they can be prepared for the stock market crash and what may happen in 2021. Also, subscribe to the channel please, because I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2021, and it would make my year if you subscribed. So thank you so much for watching, and make sure to do your own research and invest in the stock market at your own risk, because the market can be very volatile right now, which means you can make big gains, but you can also lose a lot of money at the same time. So just be careful what you invest in and what goes on, and make sure you know exactly what you're investing in before you invest in it. And if you don't know what to do to invest, I've got a video coming out next week on that. And if it's already out, it'll be linked up above somewhere. So don't forget to go check that out if you're new to investing and you're a beginner and you just wanted to watch this video to kind of learn more about what might happen, which is very smart of you, honestly, to learn about risk and managing risk. So hopefully none of these things come and actually happen, but they might happen in 2021. And if they do, I just wanted you to be prepared for it. So make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel to help me reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2021. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, Make sure to manage your risk and don't invest more money than you're willing to lose.